Hello everyone, welcome back to Mobility Academy. I'm the flexibility guy, Coach Elia, and in today's video I want to talk to you about the PNF, which is one of my favorite stretching methodologies that will help you achieve your flexibility goals and increase your range of motion, okay? But before I start, let me ask you to subscribe to the channel if you're new and turn on the notifications so you'll never miss one of my next videos, okay? With that said, let's start. Alright guys, so the PNF is a stretching methodology, which means that is a strategy you can use to improve your flexibility, okay? PNF stands for proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, okay? And it is a scientifically proven way to increase the flexibility of your muscles. Now, let me explain to you how it works and why you should use the PNF to increase your flexibility. So, guys, when you wanna improve your flexibility, you got a problem, okay? You go into a stretching position, you try to increase your flexibility there, and all of a sudden you find a point where you can't get any further into the stretch, okay? This is a problem because you want to do better, you want to get further into the stretch, and the reason why you are stopping in a certain point of the stretch is because there are two main things that are blocking you in that stretch, okay? So the first reason why you stop in a certain stretching position is because your muscles reach their max level of length, okay? So when you stretch, you lengthen your muscles, and if they reach their max length, then you need to stop there. And the only way you have to increase that length is by training more and stretching more, because with stretching you soften the muscles and improve their flexibility, okay? But this is not the only reason why you stop in a certain stretching position. There's also a second reason, which is really important, and I will say is the most important one, okay? The second reason why your flexibility stops in a certain stretching position is your brain, okay? Your brain knows that if you lengthen a muscle too much, it could get hurt, okay? So what it does is that it contracts that muscle before that could happen, okay? But oftentimes you could get further into the stretch, but your brain stops your flexibility before that point, okay? This is the reason why I said that the PNF is a scientifically proven way to increase your flexibility, okay? Now, let me explain to you what the PNF does, okay? So, when you stretch a muscle, your brain contracts that muscle, okay? And the PNF tricks your brain, okay? So, it makes your brain stop contracting that muscle, okay? So when you are in a stretching position and you lengthen a muscle, your brain contracts that muscle, okay? Because it fears that it could get hurt, okay? But that muscle is contracting against your will. So what you could do here, when you are in the stretching position, okay, and you lengthen a muscle, and you reach your max level of stretch where you feel that that muscle can't get further into the stretch. So what you can do there is to contract that muscle voluntarily, okay? So it's not your brain that is contracting the muscle, it's you, it's your will that is contracting that muscle, okay? So you contract that muscle, you squeeze that muscle, and by doing that, this kind of contraction tricks your brain, because your brain starts to think, okay, if the muscle is contracting, I don't need to contract that muscle anymore, because it's already contracting, it's already happening. It can't get hurt there, because it's contracting, okay? And this is the PNF. This is why it tricks the brain, because the brain stops contracting that muscle right after your contraction, not your brain's contraction, your contraction. Okay, so you are in a stretching position and you contract a muscle, okay, with your will. Okay, you voluntarily contract that muscle, and that contraction tricks your brain because it stops contracting the muscle, because like it doesn't make any sense to it, because it starts to think, okay, I don't need to contract that muscle because the contraction is already happening there. Okay, so I need to stop that. Okay, so you are in the stretching position, you contract the muscle, you hold that contraction. Okay, so you want to hold that contraction isometrically, which means that you squeeze the muscle like this, okay, and you want to hold the contraction isometrically for a given amount of seconds. Okay, we will get deeper into that, okay, but for a given amount of seconds. And then once you stop the contraction, you trick your brain, okay, because your brain is no longer contracting that muscle, and you can gain a little bit of range of motion and get further into the stretch. Okay, and that's magic, but it's not magic, it's science. As I said, it's a scientifically proven way to increase your flexibility. Okay, now guys, I know that it might sound a little complicated. Okay, I know that. So let me explain to you this concept in my gym, because here I am in my studio. I can't show you how to do that here. Okay, so I will go in my gym, okay, just to show you how to do that. Okay, fair enough? Okay, see you in a second in my gym, guys, to explain to you how the PNF works with a stretching position, and then from there we are going to understand how to apply the PNF for how many seconds and how the PNF really works. Okay guys, see you in a second. Alright guys, so here I am. Now I'm gonna show you how to do a PNF contraction. Okay, so I'm gonna show you a PNF contraction in a stretching exercise, which is called the quad stretch on wall. But of course guys, this is just an exercise. Okay, you should understand the concepts behind the PNF rather than how to apply it in this position. Okay, so as I said, there are three very important things in the PNF methodology. The first one is that you need to be in a stretching position. The second one is that you need to lengthen a muscle. And the third one is that you need to contract that muscle. Okay, so remember that part of the contraction, okay? The contraction is really important. So let's assume I'm in this stretching position. I'm not gonna explain to you this stretching position, but all I want to say is that here I'm stretching my quad muscle here, of this leg here. Okay, so I go into this stretching position. Okay, so I lift my body, because in this way I'm lengthening this muscle here. Okay, so I'm lengthening that muscle. So here, let's assume I'm lifting my trunk up, and then all of a sudden I reach my max level of stretch. Okay, I can feel the stretch here. I can feel that I can't get any further into the stretch, and I just stop here. Okay, so the reason why I'm stopping here, probably is because my brain is stopping my flexibility. Okay, so my brain is contracting my muscle. Okay, and what I want to do here is to contract the muscle voluntarily, okay, with a muscle contraction that I do, not my brain, I do, okay? So to contract my quad muscle, okay, with the muscle I have here, I push my back foot against the wall, because this creates a quad contraction, a contraction here on my quad muscle, okay? So I push with my back foot against the wall as if I want to extend my back knee, okay? So I push, 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 I hold that contraction. The PNF contraction is always isometric, okay? So you need to isometrically hold this contraction, which means that you push and you hold that tension. You really hold, okay? So usually a PNF contraction goes from 10 seconds to 30 seconds, okay? Now I'm gonna make it 10 seconds. So I push, 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 10 seconds, and I hold. As you can see, I'm holding. I'm just holding that pressure with my back foot against the wall, okay? So push, 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 and then after 10 seconds, I stop the contraction gently. And now watch what happens. I inhale, and I immediately try to reach a new level of stretch. So as you can see now, I can reach a new level of stretch, okay? I can get further into the stretch, but as soon as I go up, okay, all of a sudden I feel that I have another like limit in my flexibility, which is a new position, but the brain is still, of course, contracting my muscle as soon as as it understands that I have a new range of motion, okay? So I go here, my brain stops my flexibility, and I can make another PNF contraction, okay? So to do another PNF contraction, I can push again with my back foot against the wall. I can hold that contraction 10 seconds, for example. I hold, 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 and then as I stop, I inhale, exhale, and I try to get deeper into the stretch. It depends on my flexibility level, okay? I try to relax the muscle, but I will surely find another point where I can't get any further into the stretch. That point is my max level of flexibility after 2 PNF contractions, because here I've done 2 PNF contractions, okay? Now, guys, this is how it works. So, as I said, here I have done 2 PNF contractions, okay? So, the reason why I'm saying that I've done 2 PNF contractions is because you might think that this is like magic, okay? Okay, I've understood everything about the stretching methodologies, and now I can gain all the flexibility I want thanks to the PNF. Unfortunately, it's not like that. Okay, so the PNF is for sure an excellent stretching methodology that will allow you to gain a lot of flexibility. But like, you can't gain flexibility forever, okay? This kind of effect stops usually after 3 to 5 PNF contractions, okay? So for example, you do 1 PNF contraction, you relax the muscle, and you can get further into the stretch. Then you do another PNF contraction, and you can get further into the stretch. Then maybe you do another PNF contraction after that, and you feel that, yeah, you go further into the stretch, but not that much. Not that much. It's just a little improvement. And then if you do another, maybe the 4th PNF contraction, you can't get any further. You just stay there. Because, yeah, you can mislead your brain, but only until a certain point. After that point, you can't mislead the brain anymore, Okay, so it stops your flexibility, and there's no way you can get further into the stretch. Of course, the way is that you repeat the PNF training for weeks, months, and years, and then in the long term, you'll surely improve your flexibility, but not like in a single set. Okay, so this is how the PNF works with this exercise. Okay, now see you in a second, because I want to show you another exercise where you can apply PNF contractions, and I want to give you some numbers, okay, just to understand better how it works, okay, and then, okay, it will be over with the PNF contraction methodology. Alright guys, so here we go. In this last part of this video, I want to show you how the PNF works with a stretching position which a lot of people want to achieve, which is the front split, okay? And also because I have like a huge personal experience with the PNF in this position, because I achieved the front split thanks to the PNF, okay? So I know that it works, at least for me it worked. It has been working with many of my students, okay? And I know that the PNF is one of the best stretching methodologies out there, okay? But I want to also give you some numbers just to understand better how the PNF works. So for example, for how many seconds you should hold that PNF contraction, or for how many breaths you should stay in a certain stretching position before and after applying the PNF. Okay, so follow me in this last part of this video. Okay, so let's assume I wanna go down touching the floor in a front split. Okay, so I wanna drive my hips down. So I put my yoga blocks under my hips because they are really important to relax my body in the stretching position. Okay, so let's assume I'm here. Okay, my range of motion stops here. Okay, so I stay here. Now, before and after each PNF contraction, you must stay in a relaxed state. Okay, so in a position where you try to lengthen your muscles. Okay, so I stay here, I try to breathe in the position, and I stay relaxed here for 5 to 10 breaths. Okay, so I stay here 10 breaths, for example, and I just stay here trying to relax, trying to drive my hips down as much as I can. Okay, so I know that I can't get any further because I feel that my muscles are burning, are hurting, okay, and I can't drive my hips down. Okay, so what can I do? I can apply a PNF contraction here. Now, this is like a position where if I need to apply a PNF contraction, I must push my front foot on the floor and my back foot on the floor. Okay, so I push both feet on the floor, I hold this contraction 10 seconds. Okay, so I know that the PNF contraction works like this in this position because I figured it out and I studied it. Okay, so every PNF, every stretching position has its own PNF contraction. Okay, and if you want to know, for example, in every tutorial I make about a specific stretching position, I always say, okay, here, if you want to do a PNF contraction, you must do that. Okay, because every position has its own PNF contraction. Okay, so I push, 10 seconds, I hold the contraction, and then once I gently stop, and now watch. Here it's really important that immediately after the PNF contraction you get further into the stretch. You shouldn't wait. Okay, so I try to remove a block as soon as I can. Of course, I want to relax, so I stay relaxed, and I get further into the stretch. I get deeper into the stretch, okay? And as you can see now, I can really get further into the stretch. Now, after the PNF, because as you can see, I've done a PNF contraction and now I'm relaxing again in the stretch, okay? So you want to relax after every PNF contraction, okay? So I'm gonna spend here another 5 to 10 breaths. So you wanna stay relaxed. You wanna enjoy your new range of motion, okay? It will be a little deeper. You're going to, it's going to hurt a little bit more, okay? But you wanna spend some time here. That's why I'm saying 5 to 10 breaths. You can start with 10 breaths, and when the stretch gets harder, you can decrease to 8 breaths or 6 or 5, okay? So after 6 breaths, for example, I push again both my feet on the floor, okay? 10 seconds, also 20 is good, especially on the big muscles. The more you contract, the better. And then after 10 seconds, for example, I stop, I inhale, I remove the block, exhale, and I try to get deeper into the stretch, okay? So, as you can see, I said after I inhale and after I exhale. So, this is the right time to get further into the stretch. For example, you inhale, exhale, and you need to go deeper into the stretch. You shouldn't wait longer, okay? And as you can see, I'm here. But let's assume, rather than touching the floor, I'm here, okay? I make a PNF contraction, okay? Then I try to remove the block, but I can't get further. I stop here, and it hurts so bad. So this isn't a good strategy. You should stay in a position where you feel comfortable. And more importantly, if you do a PNF contraction and right after that PNF contraction you can't gain range of motion, then stop there. Because there's no business in doing more PNF contractions. As I said, it's not magic, okay? It's like it will, for sure, after some PNF contractions, you're going to, your brain is going to stop your flexibility again, okay? Usually that happens after 2 to 4 PNF contractions, and that's why I always suggest doing 3 of them, okay? Start with 1, okay? If you are a beginner and you're not used to the PNF, maybe you need to start with 1 PNF contraction, then you can make 2, and then you can make 3. Usually 3 is the perfect number, okay? So, as I said, there's a passive phase where you just stay in the stretch. There's a PNF phase where you contract the muscle or the muscles you're trying to lengthen in that stretching position. And then there's a relaxing phase again. In between the PNF contraction and the next relaxing phase, you should just inhale, decrease a little bit the stretch, relax, exhale, and try to get deeper, okay? So guys, this is how the PNF works, and I really hope that everything is clear by now, okay? So I really suggest you apply this strategy to your flexibility positions if you wanna improve your flexibility level. I've been doing that with my students, and I did that in the past to increase my flexibility level, and I'm sure that it helps, and it might help you also to increase your flexibility level, okay? If you got any further questions about this topic, which you might have, please let me know in the comments down below. And also, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, okay? With that said, that's all from the flexibility guy, Coach Elia. Have a nice stretch, enjoy your PNF contractions, and see you in the next video.